story time. So I came across this post of a video of an old woman of about 80 years plus. I think, yeah, she should be within 80 years plus, you know. She was complaining of about her daughter who has lived in Europe, Germany specifically, for 25 years plus. And this daughter happens to be the only child they have, this couple have. And this couples, they are around the 80 something years, you know, they are old, okay? So they have just this one child who have lived her life in Europe for the past 25 years plus. And it happened that she have no child, okay? So this very lady is within, she should be around 50, in her 50s now, you know, early to middle 50s, okay? So she have lived all her life with no single child. And for the fact that she's the only child, so this really breaks the heart of this woman, her mother, you know, crying out on Facebook, because I came across this post sometimes last year. So this lady, according to the old woman, that her daughter moved down to Europe when she was in her middle 20s, okay, you know, moving down to Europe. It takes time to settle down, you know, getting your documents, going to school to acquire a professional career. If you happen to live in a country like a language speaking country like France, Germany, it takes a lot of time to learn the language, to settle down. By the time you spend a lot of time learning the language, pursuing your career, settling that, it takes a very long time, okay? So I believe this is her situation. She might have spent all these years chasing documents, learning the language, going to school to acquire a professional career, and then working, you know, the busy system. Just integrating into this busy system, it takes a lot of time. And it happens that she is not lucky, okay? She have no luck to find somebody, or, you know, get married to, have a family. And she have lived all her life, all her 25 years in Germany. And this lady has worked and do so well for herself when it comes to financial aspects. She had a good job, she's working. In her 50s midnight, she's on the road to her retirement. And we have worked so hard, taking care of her old parents back in Nigeria, build a lot of houses, you know, acquire a lot of things, settle herself, you know, work hard to achieve the life she have. But she have no baby, no child. And she happens to be the only child her family, her parents have. So this comes to my thinking. After acquiring all this, who is going to take after this when she's no more? Who is going to take after the wealth, the houses, the money, you know? Me watching the mother crying on Facebook breaks my heart, because this woman was saying that there is nobody that will take after the name. Everything that this lady has acquired, if there are no more, who is going to take after all this or look after this? Yeah, when you plan of moving down to a busy system like Europe, don't bear in mind that everything is going to happen like a magic. It takes a lot of time to properly integrate into the system. It takes a lot of time to learn the language. Like if you're coming to a country like a language speaking country, it takes a lot of time to learn the language and get yourself settled, get a good career. It takes a lot of time to get a good job, a good paying job. Otherwise, you'll be doing all of this petty, little jobs, cleaning job here and there, all these kind of small jobs. So this takes a lot of your time, your life. So if you're a woman, you plan on moving down here, you are at the age of your middle 20s or late 20s. First of all, you should focus on, even if you happen to have only one baby before moving down here. Because by the time you keep going into the system, you know, before you realize, you have lost a lot of time. A lot of time. Your time has gone. And you're going to end up lonely. This continent, this country is a very lonely place. So the worst thing that can happen to somebody is, at your old age, you have no one. You have nobody. You're going to end up so lonely. Honestly, I really felt so sorry for that woman. Know that her daughter is going to end up lonely too. Honestly. So these couples, the only child they have no one to take after the name, have no one to take after the whole properties, the whole wealth that their daughter has acquired. Because it's definitely going to end up with relatives and families, which I know she's also contributing so much to her relatives and families, but she had no one of her own. No one to call her own. So before you plan on moving down here and you see that you're not that young, even the young ones are not lucky to find somebody. There's a lot of lonely people, lonely man and woman in this country, in this continent, in this part of the world. People are lonely. So before you move down, you plan on moving down to Europe, and you see that you're in your late 20s, and even if you're in your middle 20s, try to have a child back in Nigeria. As long as you can be able to take care of that child, have that child back, maybe back in Nigeria, then move down here. Because as you come down here, before you integrate properly in this part of the world, it's going to take a lot of time. So many years will be gone, we pass by. And before you realize, you have no time on your side. So yeah, this is what I came here to tell you guys. The system will consume your time. Before you know, you keep asking yourself, where does all this time go? So yeah, this is the story I came to bring for you guys. It's not easy here. There's so much involved. There's so much process. There's a lot of everything takes time here. And when you come here, you're not assured of finding someone too. You're not assured of meeting someone. It's very difficult. You might meet someone, but it might not be the kind of person you want. So it's going to take a lot of time. So yeah, this is it. And I felt pity for these families, and maybe she might be lucky to go back to Nigeria and adopt a child, but she's in her 50s. So yeah, this is it. Plan yourself before you come down here. Don't just come down here, because here there's a lot of lonely people. This world here are so lonely.